Okay guys, this is the insight. You don't have to see me as long as you can see the board. This is the insight that I got, what inspired me to make the videos on health, because I've always a lot of the things I've been sharing, a lot of the things that are coming into fashion now, genuinely I've been taking for years and years. I heard a good friend of mine who I respect a lot, who was telling me that she found out about a technique where you get triple distilled vodka and you mix it with bicarb, and you body brush your body with it a few times a year. Really good for your skin and things like that. Honestly, I was doing that 10 years ago. Yeah, but I never shared it because we can go longest without food, next water, then air. Okay, food because it's dense, because of motion. I might even go and cover that first. Actually, I'll cover that first. I was going to share that anyway. The reason why emotion and mindset is more important than diet, in my opinion, is because food is matter. Okay, it's dense. This is why the placebo effect, this is why the placebo effect works, because energy moves matter, okay? So this is why if you believe wholeheartedly that a specific diet is working for you, it will, because energy is a more refined energy. So emotion, energy is a more refined than matter. And then messages at the top. To change the message, the information, the spirit, you change the message, you can change. This is why blessing your food is so important, okay? Rather than like labeling yourself a vegan or labeling yourself a specific thing, I've always promoted conscious eating, because if you actually understand how to bless your food, there's a few techniques that I've shared a few times, but I'll share it now because it's obviously come up for a reason. I wasn't planning to do this today. Say there's your plate, you've got a broccoli, you've got an egg on there, let's say you've got a chicken leg on there, right? Just let's say. First thing you do when you get your food is you trace the origin of the food, okay? What is interconnected in the food for it to get on your plate? So realize where the chicken come from, because the teaching of emptiness, interdependence in Buddhism, this pen, the only thing it's empty of is a separate self-identity. It's not a pen. We label it a pen, but it exists because the people in the factory, the materials that are in it, the people who designed it, everything, and you can literally trace it in any direction to get it. Everything is in that pen, okay? So if I was to take the driver, let's say who drove it to the shop where I bought it, if I was to take him out of the equation, it wouldn't be in my hand, it wouldn't be there, okay? So when we look at this with our food, we can trace back the chicken that the egg came from, the conditions that the chicken was in, maybe the chicken that's died on our plate, the suffering it went through, what's in the broccoli, you know, the ocean, the water, because the rain that nourished the crops, everything is in the food, okay? You might not have organic food, might be like chemicals in there. All this interdependence is in the plate. The more you get used to this, the faster you can do it. So you trace the origin, okay? Then, this is what I do. I ask for forgiveness. Dear, any souls interconnected with this food, please forgive me if you've suffered in any way to be where you are, okay? You just got to ask for forgiveness. Give appreciation. I'm very grateful, okay? Automatically, and Kirlian photography, which is very high sensitivity cameras, have proved this. Food before and after a blessing. Dr. Emoto did it with water. The energy starts to increase, okay, the frequency and vibration, because we're changing the message. We're adding a positive emotion to the matter, to the food, okay? So once you do that, my master, his master, said to him, offering your food is more important than meditation. That is a bold statement. So you think about that. We're also, I'm going to talk about it on the other side, we're so attached to matter that we cut ourselves off from message, spirit. This is soul or spirit. We cut ourselves off from our own soul, from our spiritual fathers and mothers. So he said, offer your food to your spiritual fathers and mothers. Dear divine doubt, my physical teachers and my spiritual teachers, please eat first. Please bless the food as appropriate. Okay? So now you've got all this spiritual blessings coming. This is what I do then. The virtue that I have for having this meal, there's obviously a good merit, a spiritual reason why I'm lucky enough to have good food, okay? I share my virtue with all sentient beings in the 10 directions. Wanling. Wanling means one ling. Means every being everywhere, all being, all souls, okay? I offer that virtue with you. So what happens now is all beings are showing appreciation to your food, okay? Then I say, because we've offered this to higher beings, to Buddhas, to God and things like that, because of that, they offer virtue to us because we've offered it, okay? It's a selfless practice. A Buddhist teaching is any virtue I get for offering it to the Buddhas, please share with any ancestors in the lower realms. We may have ancestors that have made mistakes that we're still connected to, that are in the lower realms, okay? They're in the hell realms. And they may be in the hunger or thirsty realms. That's a whole other teaching, okay? But just remember this. I'll share a quick story. When Buddha went to this part of India, there's a temple. They all offered the Buddha food, and that night, it's a famous story in Buddhism. That night, all of the people who were in the temple, all the monks, they heard screaming and moaning and groaning all night. And the next morning, the guy who was the main man at the temple, or the emperor, whatever it was, he said to Buddha, what were those screams? He said, you never shared your virtue with your ancestors in the lower realms. They were asking, it was our one chance. You fed the Buddha, you could have helped us out. Okay, so everyone's made mistakes. We have ancestors in lower realms, so we can use that virtue to bless them. Now, this is why it's a selfless practice. Think of it like this. Let's say that the chicken on your plate, right? Let's get rid of this. Let's say the chicken on your plate is caught in the samsaric wheel. Samsara. So what's happening is, just let's say the people who are killing the chickens every day, killing loads of chickens, it could be beef, could be anything, cows. Some of them are cruel, some of them might be genuinely doing it for a job and they're praying for them and they love them. It's a different situation. Some people really hate the animals, they enjoy it, right? So the next life, they come back as one of those animals, okay? To experience what they've done, they come back as a chicken. Then the chicken has many lifetimes suffering. They're caught in samsara, okay? So I don't eat that much meat, but if my body craves meat, you can still use it as a service. Don't use this as an excuse. Oh man, I'm going to eat as much meat as I can because I'll just bless my food. I think we have to change the way the food is harvested. But this is what I'm saying. This chicken on your plate may be caught in this samsaric cycle. And it's a vicious circle, you see. You actually start doing this, you spiral downwards because you create more and more karma in every lifetime with your suffering. That one meal and that one blessing may be enough to pull that chicken that was here out of samsara. That is huge service that we can offer, okay? So I wasn't going to go down this road, but it's important. It came up, so it's important. And this is why I've always taught the importance of soul over matter, which is what my teacher teaches. Okay, so you might think you've heard this, but this is the insight that I got that encouraged me to share those teachings. My teacher says everything in creation, whether it's a thought, whether it's a person, anything, is made of Shen, Qi and Jing. Shen is soul, heart, mind. Qi is energy, Jing is matter. This is the quantum physics model that he came up with that explains this process, okay? Soul is information in the field. The soul gives the information, a message to the heart. In the physical body, the heart, every single thing, a cell as a heart, or should I say this, a cell as a receiver, okay? They don't have a physical heart like we do, just that in the physical body, the heart is the receiver, but everything will have a receiver, a heart, okay? So the soul gives information to the heart picks it up as the receiver, the heart houses the mind, passes it to the mind. Institute of Heart Math are now proven this. There's like brain cells in the gut. Three brains in Taoism. The gut is where I have a gut feeling, in the heart and in the mind. So the heart houses the mind. The mind is the processor then. The mind is what directs energy. So the mind, wherever it focuses, energy goes there. Okay. The energy is the actioner, and then where energy goes, okay, energy moves matter. So this is matter is obviously, this is how we manifest. Now let's say this is out of balance. Right? Just say you've had so much trauma in your life that you close your heart. So if you close your heart, you've cut yourself off from the spiritual information from your soul. So now you're mind dominated and you've gone rogue. Okay, the mind's gone rogue. Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, they suggest that the imbalanced emotion of the heart is depression and anxiety. Now, if you're mind dominated, you think of future, because the mind needs time. Mind needs time. Okay? Or you're focused on the past. And what do we know? If you focus on the past, and you can ask people, do this test yourself. Someone you know is depressed, say, where do you spend most of your time thinking? Past. Depression. Someone's anxious, just say, where are you thinking? Anxious, right? Future. Okay? That's how it works. So this is an unbalanced process. This is why you have to open your heart. Instead of being a victim of life, use your suffering to open your heart, so that you can be more compassionate. So then, if the heart's closed, you're focused here, you're focusing on past traumas or future problems, what's happening? Your mind is directing energy in the wrong way, and then you manifest challenges in your life. Now, my teacher says, you heal the soul first, mind and body, energy and matter will follow. Makes perfect sense, because this is the information. If we have negative information, okay, negative information in the field, that information trickles down and we manifest challenges. I hope this is making sense. So spiritual practice is to change our negative information to positive information. Simple. And that trickles down to blessings. Okay? Or should I say, that should be consciousness, like being more conscious, because blessings can still be suffering. If you manifest a lot of things in your life and you get attached to them, then you're still living in hell. So, my point is, I've given this teaching a few times, this is the insight I got. Let's say we've got a 50 gigabyte hard drive. If I was to have another one, and one was empty, one was full of movies, documents and everything, which one's heavier? Okay? They're both the same. Because the movies and everything, they're in the field. They're in the information field. So You can look in, you can cut up the hard drive. You won't find your movies. Just as if you have a emotional imbalance in your heart, you can cut the heart open, you won't find it. Okay, it's in the field. Now look. So this is the jing. This is the matter. Is the actual hard drive you can hold. Where's the chi? Where's the energy? Okay, it's the plug that goes into the wall or goes into your computer. Okay, it's the same with the body. We have to look after the jing. Keep it supple, flowing, and open spiritually, so we can we receive. We don't need a plug, okay? We actually absorb energy from the field, okay? This isn't a whole other teaching, but you get the toroidal field, okay? We're absorbing energy from the earth and from the heavens, okay? So there's the plug. So now we've got Jing, Qi, and Shen, okay? But this was my insight. And I sound like I'm going all over the place. This is my insight. I've come for the last 10 years, I've taught the top-down approach. Change your information. How do we change our information? How do we, because this is karma, negative karma. Okay. How do we purify karma? Contribution. Universal meditation. Chant 10 hours, 5 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes a day, and dedicated to all sentient beings, relieving the suffering. Purify our karma, so we purify our spiritual debt, transform our life, top-down approach. I still think that's the most effective, but this was my insight. If the 50 gigabytes hard drive was broke, right, just say you dropped it and it's smashed, it can't conduct electricity. You plug it in, you might get a charge or it might not, but the chances are you might eliminate the energy flowing through it. But even if there is some energy through it, if you've broke it, it can't pick up what's in the field. You've lost your information, you've lost your data, right? So I got it. I thought, wow, that's a big insight. This is why it's so important to look after the body, the matter. Okay, if we can, Clive de Carle, such a legend, Clive de Carle said he always wanted to teach consciousness and spiritual teachings. He said, but what he found was people were suffering so much here that they were not interested in spiritual practice. They were not interested in healing the world. They were not interested in consciousness because they felt sick. Now, it's true. If you have a bad back or you're in agony, you don't feel well, you don't really want to sit down and meditate, because you want to heal yourself. So that was the insight that inspired me to share about health and nutrition and things like that, and what I take. I'm not advocating everything. This is what I do, because we can have a top-down approach or a bottom-up. But remember, this is all more refined, like I did on the back. This is a more refined energy. This is more dense, gross matter. So top-down is always more effective. This is how the placebo works, because if your mind truly believes what it's experiencing, mind, energy moves matter. This is mind over matter, okay? But we're going one step further. We're changing the message, soul over matter. People say, you change your thinking, you change everything. It's true. But why were you having them thoughts in the first place? Why were you born in certain families? Why have you had specific challenges from birth or whatever? It's because of spiritual reasons, karma. Okay? So we can do a top-down approach, but also if we look after the body, okay, we look after our health, we can also we can go top-down, bottom-up, and create Shen Qi Jing He Yi. This means join as one. Join as one. One means it's going to create harmony. It's actually fundamentally is in enlightenment. One also represents Tao. Tao is the overall creator. It's oneness field. Shen Qi. There's another thing. Take care of your physical health. And people focus more on this. I've had a good response from those videos because people hear. The last thing they look at is what they can't see, okay? And what we see is matter. So we think, I don't feel well. It's got to be this. It's what I can see. What they don't see is the Wi-Fi modem, okay? They don't see that. So and they're addicted to Wi-Fi, so they don't want to look at that. They'd rather look at what they're eating. They'd rather look at this, they'd rather look at that. Wi-Fi is very detrimental. I don't care what anyone says. Over 14,000 papers on the detrimental effects of Wi-Fi. Carrying a phone around in your pocket. EMFs. Then you've got psychic pollution. All this negative thinking. There's so much on these higher levels, but we obviously attach to matter. So that's why I'm sharing these. But I would definitely, if you're new to these videos, you're enjoying the health stuff, definitely go back over some of my old videos and see how we can fix this. If you start adopting some of my detox things and parasite cleansers and all that, as you start feeling better in the physical body, you start thinking better. But if you start meditating, you start thinking better, you'll start making better health choices. You might not want to eat your shit junk food anymore. But hold in your heart the mantra, Shen Qi Jing Hui, 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 Shen Qi Jing Hui. Why? Because words are so powerful, so important. They carry a message, they push through the field, they change our DNA, they connect. My teacher says you chant powerful mantras like this because it's not just in the body, it's Shen Qi Jing, everybody's soul, heart, mind, energy and matter join as one. When you chant a powerful ancient mantra like this, many benevolent souls will chant with you. You don't even have to call them, they just come behind you and chant with you. So by chanting this, what are we doing? Purifying karma, okay? Purifying karma, changing the message which manifests as good health. Okay, longer video than I planned. Hope it makes sense. If you like it, share it. Hopefully let it save more people. This isn't my stuff, okay? This is my insight into my teacher's stuff, okay? So I've done a lot of research over my life and a lot of different experiments. I always experiment on myself, but this formula for me works and makes a lot of sense, but it's my teachers. In ancient China, they say when you drink water, think of the source. I can't take praise for this. I'll pass it on to my teacher, all the great teachers of the world. I love you all very much. Have a beautiful day.